6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another V1 live stream coming at you from North Texas. Beautiful day here this morning, nice and cool. However, the aircraft that we are flying is not in North Texas. We are positioned in the lovely Fly Tampa, Las Vegas, Nevada scenery. Real time, real weather, typical morning here in the, I think you say southwestern part of the United States. Warm, dry, a little bit of dust in the air. But we've got a very, very fun stream in store for you today. I'm not running any of the Fly Live stuff on top because we might confuse Fly Live and what we're trying to accomplish today. Today is a stream that a lot of you always request. It's very popular. Sometimes I do these in video form, but sometimes I almost think it's better to do them in a live format because, number one, if I do it in a video form and I do something wrong, I can always reset it or whatever, and I can make it look much better than reality. When I'm doing it live, you guys are right there with me in the heat of the moment, and I haven't done any practicing per se on this. I've been looking through some of the failures and the faults of what we're going to do. So here's the plan for today. We're going to operate Allegiant Flight 357 from Las Vegas to John Wayne. We're going to have some type of problem on en route. We're going to have some type of hydraulic issue. I've already set that up. But we're also operating with the no APU today. So we're going to have no APU, we got no ground power, we have no APU power, no APU air, so we're going to be going through that. We're going to have to do a crossbleed start. Basically, today is a day of faults and failures, and we are really going to dig deep now into the heart of the Fenix Simulations A320 Airbus. I personally love doing this kind of stuff. I think, number one, it keeps me sharp for doing stuff in the real world, and it keeps your mind in the game. You know, even though in real life, it's completely different. You got an FO with you to help you out and work through things, and your task saturation is a little bit less. But this is still good to just keep your mind in the game, keep refreshed. I'm going to be using real-world procedures, real-world comm procedures that are most current with my operator. So if you see something that's a little bit different from your operator, remember, it's, you know, these airplanes can be flown 100 different ways, and they're all correct. It just depends on how your operator sets them up. So good luck. We're all counting on you. Thank you, IB. Appreciate it. Love the honesty of the failure streams. Rusty C. Yeah, that's, you know, that's what I keep hearing. A lot of people like to see it live, and I might make a mistake. I might not. We'll see what the airplane can handle, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun. So, quick shout out to a couple of my members in chat. What's going on? Good to see you, Stephen Hayner. Crow. What's up? Ivy Bang, and already talked to you. Rusty C. What's up, my friend James Monks? Richland Music, Aaron Hastings, Jeremy Harvey in chat, 10 for 10 on the intro music, sir. I did mute the subscriber tone today. I've been getting a lot of new subs. I kept the member tone up, and I kept the dono tone, the bank angle check, but I did mute the subscriber sounds because I've been getting a lot of new subscribers, which I absolutely love, so thank you so much for the support, guys. But Tom Pasco, good to see you. Aaron Hastings, Fubar, Holger Teutsch, good to see you, sir. And let's see, Malumac also in the chat. And Al W, what is going on, man? Good to see you, sir. All right. That is it. Let's do this. That's off. We got the rattle in there. Who said that? Andre Henry, looking forward to this one. With you, V1. Andre, with you, sir. Good to see you, bud. Welcome on board. Las Vegas is up. LA Center is online as well. That's cool. So we're going to have them online. All right, let's hop into the cockpit. I'm not going to do a pre-flight just yet. I'll probably do a pre-flight video in the professional series. I mean, there's a ton of pre-flight stuff out there. Some of y'all like to see when I go through the pre-flight, but it's all pretty much the same stuff. So we'll do a full-blown pre-flight in a recorded video. But right now, we're pretty much going to hop into the cockpit. Cold and dark, much quieter. Listen to those engines rattling out there. But this is the Flight Tampa Vegas. This is so awesome. I mean, this looks so realistic. Looking through the glass, I love this. Love this. All right, let's. Like I said, we're cold and dark. We're an old Airbus. I have it all set up. Our off blocks is 15:45, so we got 40 minutes to get this thing fired up. So let's do that. Straight up to the overhead. We got 25.6 or greater. We're gonna go battery 1, and battery 2 is coming online. Listen to that, firing up. We are running a little bit older of an Airbus today. We got the external powers coming on with the old standby, analog standby instruments, no brake fans. Love this Liberty. Flight Force, thank you for the $2 super chat, man. I just saw that come across. Yes, I did mess with my sensitivity settings. I'm still finding that 14, that's a negative 14% curve for my side stick. Both in pitch and roll. Negative 14% is what I'm using. I think today, Flight Force, after this stream, I might tweak it, but as of right now, I think I actually like that. It's a negative 14% on both pitch and roll with my current stick setup, which is exclamation point stick, if you want to take a look at that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and fire it up. Now, I wonder if because I broke the airplane on the test sector, if everything's going to come up. There's the FWC. Let's go ahead and just continue with our flows, right? Ground control, come on, CVR test. Boom, that is good. We're going to go 80 years 1. Now, because this is old, we're going to actually wait for each on bat. Mr. Sweet, bank angle check right back at you, sir. Thank you for that $5 dono. Very much appreciated, man. Thank you for that. So we got one bat light. There's the fault, there's the on-bat. Now, the reason we wait for this to extinguish is we want to make sure that the ADIRs do have the capability to revert to battery mode should we drop off on power. So that's why we wait for that. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the status position. We'll turn it on to System 1. Time to alignment, 7 minutes. That looks good. I missed a switch there. Captain Purser, we're going to keep that on Captain for now as well. All right, to the lights, everything's going to be off. Nav logo will be in position 1. Seatbelts off, no smoking auto. Arm the emergency exit lights. Landing elevation is in auto. I don't need any overhead lights. I'm just going to turn them off. We'll save the battery. I think it looks a little bit better. I don't know. Let's save the battery. We'll leave it off for now. I do like these, the lighting in here. The color of the lighting is spot on, especially for some of these older aircraft. Really is, really captures that old orangish glow, I should say. All right, right now the pack flow looks good. The pack panel, air conditioning panel looks good. Our batteries are on. We already did that. Pumps are off. We'll do a fire test, engine 1. Remember, we're looking for more things than just the light and the sounds. We're looking for the the ECAM display with the fire stuff and the fire and the throttle quadrant as well.
I think it's just my MSFS, but I can't move my controls while moving around using my mouse.
Clinton AFM, thanks for the $2 dodo, man. Banking, I'll check right back at you. That is a Microsoft bug, and it is annoying as hell, my friend. There's nothing to do we can do about it right now, but I have the same problem, so you just got to be really careful when you do that. But thank you so much for the $2 dodo, man. Appreciate it. All right, overhead is good. I'm going to come down here. Let's go. I want to go right over here to the config. Make sure I don't have any failures on right now. Wait, we have a navigation failure, but I think that's normal, right? Because we're not aligned. Everything else looks good. So I think I'm going to leave navigation there for now. Passenger fuel, we don't need all that. And all right, let's go back. I think that fault is in there because of we're not aligned, which is fine. So I'm just checking the panel, though. Everything looks good. Let's go 122.8 for now. I think we're going to have to tune center later, but 122.8 for Unicom. Get this out of the way. That's off. Everything looks good. I'm just checking my panels. We're 2,000. Over here to the lower ECAM. Hydraulics, we look good. Engines, we've got oil quantity. That looks good. Pressurization is in auto. Can't really see it. I can see it there. So that is good. That is complete. Then, of course, when both pilots are seated, we'll come over here. We'll do our oxygen mass check. Push to test. Where is it there? Good, that's test. We can close that. That looks good. Everything looks good there. So I want to do the initialization. We'll get that started first. So we'll go ATSU, AOC, flight init, and let's go ahead and pull it. Init data request. Clifton AFM, welcome to commercial pilots. We're glad to have you on board. I think Nightbot is here. Nightbot is here. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks on the chat. But yeah, you said just making sure it wasn't you. It's not just you, man. Unfortunately, it's just Microsoft, and it's a terrible bug. You'll see me taxiing sometimes on the taxiway, and I move my camera, and then we go off center line because it's like locked my tiller into full right or full left or whatever. So it's they need to fix that absolutely. All right, so there is our init. We're going Las Vegas SNA, no alternate. We're flight 357. Excellent. So I'll go to the init page. I'll pull it over here. It should load it up. You like how the lid squeaks? Yeah. All right, there we go. Las Vegas, SNA. It's in the box. Flight number, like I said, Alpha Alpha Yankee 357. No alternate, none required. Cost index, we're going to go 75. Cruise flight level, we filed, what did we file? 30 thou. That's pretty high for a short flight, but we'll leave it 300. Flight level 300, 32 IRS and NIT. Align on ref and confirm. That is good. Flight plan. Now, this is interesting. So, and this is true, whenever you uplink a flight plan, you will have to always do your arrival and departure manually. It's just part of the way the system works. So right now winds are 350 at 31, gust 41. Holy crap, 350 at 31, gust 41. All right, so we're probably going to be departing runway 1 right for departure. And we're going to be on the Raider 2. I like how, look, this is the way this really functions. Small detail, I want you to see this here. So when I'm scrolling through SIDs or waypoints, whatever, this is the first time I've seen this modeled correctly here. You see how we stop at Joker, all these different SIDs? When you press this on the real airplane, it actually moves all of them. It doesn't just step down one at a time. It actually moves them all, and you could see that that's completely modeled correctly. It just moved the whole page out of the way. That's how it is in the real airplane, so you have to actually look at all of them and scroll down. But that's just a cool little detail. I haven't seen that on most of the Airbuses I've flown recently on the sim. It's just one at a time, scroll down. Could it be a Honeywell Thales thing? Maybe, but all the Airbuses I've flown, that's pretty much how the pages move. All right, so we're on the Raider 2 out to Silver transition. I got to try to stay on it here. We don't want to be laid off blocks today. So we're going to go ahead and set that. And then for the arrival into John Wayne, we're on the Disney 5, ILS 20 right, Disney 5. And that was off of the Fila transition. Insert that. Cool, that's in there. Secondary, let's do a quick init. Las Vegas. That's for immediate return. We're not going to do any of that part. We're just going to go secondary again. Secondary, approach, arrival. If I have to come back, we'll come right back around and land on we'll land on one left on the ILS. Hit the secondary again. Perf data is all we care about, remember, on the secondary for takeoff return. Adam Hammond, man, thank you so much for that $10 donor. Appreciate it. He says, was re-listening to your podcast with Blue and XP about the Fenix. Oh, from a while ago. Nice. Turned out to be so true in regards to immersion. This is going to be awesome. Adam, absolutely, man. Blue Games podcast with XP, the Blue Experience. Awesome show. I actually listened to the recent one last night. I hope I can get on their show again. I would love to get on there and talk to them again about it, because we had that discussion, you know, way before the Fenix came out, and now that it's here, I'd love to chat with them again on it. But yeah, I listened to that one last night, and it's this module is game changing. It is definitely game changing. So 350 at 3.1. Holy shit! All right, we're gonna do 200 in the radio because I don't want to look it up. So secondary is done. RadNav, I'm actually going to hard tune to Las Vegas VOR. And NIT B, that's what we're waiting on. And let's go ahead and see what's going on over here. So let's go ahead and begin loading aircraft. We do 27 minutes, which put us at 30. Yeah, real time. We're doing real time today because we got a lot of stuff. So loading is happening. Fueler should showed up. Mass and balance is doing mass and balance things. All right. So I'm trying to get everything set up ahead of time here, because we're going to have to walk through the procedures for no APU. And what I want to do too is I'm going to leave that over there. I'm going to use this kind of like I do with the PMDG. I'm going to make this kind of like my ops FMC or McDo over here. So we got the pushback, but ground air, this is which we're going to use for ground air without the APU. So when we're ready, we're going to go ahead and turn that on. Now, is there a way to in-op the APU? I'm going to go back. Let me go to failures. Oh, no. Let me go back to the McDo menu. Config. Failures manual. APU. APU immediate. So that should basically... I wonder if that will... Oh, that's low level. Low level oil, low level ECB, fuel valves, APU. All right, so we'll just say, I'm just gonna go back. We'll go conditional, but we'll go back. I thought I could just lock it out there. It might be a circuit breaker we could pull. But yeah, we are going to do an air start. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to get it set up. And if you want to do an air start, it took me a second to find this because the EFB has ground air, but that ground air refers to cabin air, PC air. So we want to use the actual high pressure air. So to do that, you go to, what was it, maintenance, ground service, and there we go. This is what we're going to leave. We're going to leave it off for right now because we're going to go over a procedure for that. So let's go ahead and make sure everything else works. We say that the APU is in op, so we just go ahead and shut that off. There should be an APU circuit breaker somewhere. APU, fuel blow-off pump. I wonder if there is... let's check the back. This is me now just playing. I want to, is there fuel flight controls, EIS? I don't think it'd be back here. 8 years, cockpit, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe you can pull all these. Air bleed. I need to come up. Galleon cab. I don't think there's any circuit breaker we need to pull for it, but that'd be cool. It'd be cool. What would really be cool is if you could place stickers. So like I could come up here and just place an orange in-op sticker over the APU knowing not to touch it, because a lot of times that I've flown with an in-op APU, I've heard, you know, like you can have the in-op sticker and you actually go up there and press it, you accidentally start it. Sometimes we'll get an auto shutdown, then they'll defer the APU, but the APU will still work if you do it, but you're not supposed to because that the maintenance has to clear it. So I don't think there's any breaker we actually need to pull. So we're just going to simulate that there's an orange sticker up there that says APU is in op. We do have a message. Let's see what's going on here. This is probably a prelim. receive messages, load sheet, preliminary. Wish we could print it. Let's go ahead and accept that. 20 May, Las Vegas, 136.78 max. Takeoff, fuel, potable water. Look at all this. Where's the fuel in tanks? 84.9. So we want to make sure we have more than that. Our sim brief called for 84.9, min dispatch fuel of 10,000 plus a little bit extra. It's actually got us going with 11,200 on the fuel. So I'm going to reset the flight directors here. And I'm going to call LA Center for our clearance before we fully get going. Let's go ahead and uncage this. Beautiful uncage animation. Y'all have seen this. Stupid real. Stupid real how that uncages. But let's go ahead and give them a call on 3555. Are you having any issues loading into the airport? It's set cold and dark, but it loads everything on for a few, then shuts down. Tony, 2 times I've seen that. Yeah, it depends on the airport you load into. The waiting for the airplane to shut down cold and dark, that's normal. Because remember, you have a ton of systems working behind the airplane here, which I'm going to show you today. So that's normal. Just load in, wait a couple seconds, let the airplane do its shutdown, and then start from there. That's really the only way to do it.
Clear ILS runway 1 left approach.
Runway clear 1 left.
All right. LA Center, Allegiant 357.
Cessna 67657, wind 110 at 6, runway 11 right, clear for takeoff. Straight out departure approved.
Crow, yeah, I've had that issue
Hey,
too.
somebody else is calling. Who's that?
It's Allegiant 357. We're on the ground in Vegas. I'm just wondering, are you in the service area? Are we calling you for clearance today?
That is correct, sir.
And, okay, in that case, Allegiant 357, ready to pick up IFR to John Wayne.
It's 387, pre-approach consent.
Thank you, sir. All right, we got our PDC. Dennis Feshner, thank you for the 10-pound dono, man. Appreciate it. I don't see a message with it, but I appreciate it.
Walker 1055, climb
Thank you
maintain
very
level
much.
380.
Very kind of you, sir. Very kind. All right, LA Center. So since we got our PDC, let's go back to 22.8 right now so we don't have to listen to that. We got a beacon code here of 7242. So we'll clear that out. 7242. We'll put this into on because I think in auto they were having a hard time picking me up there. But Julian Ramonde, again, thank you for the 24 months of support. Says, hi, Captain. Nice to finally catch your live stream. Glad to have you on board, man. 24 months, that's a long time. Thank you for your continued support. Very appreciative of that. Today's going to be a fun one. Today's going to be a lot of fun, guys. All right, climb via SID, accept, maintain, flight level 280. Dennis says, nice aircraft, but none of my controls are working. Thrustmaster, Warthog, and SATEC rudder. Not even the stick is working. Whoa. Dennis, thank you for your support. I see where your message there came after that. Why aren't you getting anything to work? That seems like it could be like a control issue with maybe your USB ports. If you have absolutely nothing working, man, I wish I had a better answer for you. I have not even heard of that happening yet. I know there's been some issues of guys with getting their reversers bound and whatnot. But sorry, man, I wish I had a better answer for you on that. I do not know. I'd suggest checking out the Discord of Phoenix. That's one good thing they have is really good. They have really good support on the Phoenix Discord. I gotta say, Phoenix is probably Phoenix is the best as far as payware dev support I've seen in a very, very long time. Tolus is up there. I think Tolus definitely takes the cake on the X-Plane platform and on Microsoft, and just the way that Mir and company and their whole team were actively working on bug fixes and actively working on tweaks, and hey, we got a solution to this, let's push it out, make a ping. They just did a fantastic job. I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, for the price of the add-on that they gave out, it's just like, this is what I mean when I say this is a benchmark aircraft. It's not just the systems that makes it benchmark. It's not just the EFB that makes it benchmark, although the EFB alone is a benchmark in EFBs. But it's the whole thing together that this is literally what everyone needs to compare any other add-on to. It's going to be like, hey, how's it compared to the Phoenix? Santiago, what's up, man? Says, hey, Captain, how did you set your reverse in the Bravo? I will go over that on a later time. They did post that in the Fenix Discord, though. There is a video out. Just do a little search for that. I'll see if I can remind me again in cruise. If I'm not too busy, I'll be probably pretty busy on this stream. But there is a way to get that. You just have to it's kind of funky, but there is a way to get it to work. All right, here we go. How are we looking on load? We got 60 boarded. Everything else looks good. I want to go to ground services. It's probably getting warm in here because we don't have an APU. So if I look at the condition page, this is in 21C, right? So it's okay, but we're going to add some conditioned air. Oh, no, I already have conditioned air on. There we go. I was going to say it'd be a lot warmer. Actually, let's see. Let's test it. Let's turn the conditioned air off. Let's see if... Oh, well, no, because outside air temperature is 21 right now. That's fine. So we'll just leave the conditioned air on. That's what's coming in through outside. That's set. We have a prelim, so let's go ahead and let's stay ahead of the airplane here. Let's go to our takeoff perf. Sync prelim load sheet. We're going to be departing 1 right. Dry Las Vegas. Force Toga. Yes. Optimum flaps. Anti-off. Packs on. Sync live weather. And let's just calculate a prelim. So what you can do in the real airplane is we can send a preliminary perf data. It will come out and come back. This is kind of what you can expect. So we can expect the flaps too. No trans altitude in there. Toga required. That's fine. But we also have to wait for our final load sheet. So we're ahead of the game. We have a rough idea of what we're going to be looking at as far as speeds and trim. So since we're still loading, let's go ahead and let's talk about our engine start procedure here at the gate, just like we would in real life. So as far as a full crew briefing, we'll do this by the book too. Let's pull out our JEP charts. I wonder if I have to resync this. I might have to. Flight control sensitivity is -14. -14 on pitch and roll. All right, import from SimBrief. And I know we get a lot more viewers in chat. Wow, 500 something watching and only 100 something liked. Hit the like button for me. We're about to get into it real hardcore here. So this stream is going to be pretty difficult for me to be completely involved with you in chat because, like I said, we are going to break this airplane. We're going to really go through some real world abnormal procedures. So just be patient with me. Just be patient with me if you can, and I'll try to get to your comments. If you really have a question for me, do that tag at V1 on there, because then I can actually, it pops out a little bit more. But if everybody does it, then it makes no sense. But I'm going to try my best. All right, departure charts, Raider 2R nav. Off of 1 right, this is what we're looking at here. I'm going to zoom it in a little bit. It's going to be a climbing left turn, 2682, Rudy, 230 at 4, above 5, below 8 at Cells, so we can expect a level there, probably above 10 at Gruden, Raider, and then we're all the way out to our transition of, I forget where we transitioned off, but that's fine. We already got our clearance. We got 280, I believe that's what he said, right? Climb via SID, expect 280 5 minutes. So climb via, so actually we set that wrong. We need to set 190 up here because we're getting a climb via. 190 is set. Let's see if I can reset these flight directors here real quick. Oh, it's because we don't have our init B done, that's why. What I'll do here is I'll go init B, and our fuel in tanks is 11,200, so we're going to go 11.2 in the fuel. And then this is again a real world technique. Once I have our fuel loading, I'm going to look at the fuel page. We want to make sure we're balanced, 40-80 on each side. That's good. Let's come up to the overhead. Let's get our fuel tank pumps on, seat belts on, and we're pretty much ready. So we know what we're looking. Yeah, APU is unavailable. We're doing APU out. So we already talked about our departure brief. Looks pretty standard. We shouldn't have any problems with the SID. Couple of restrictions in there. All the LNAV, VNAV restrictions are in the box. Our current barrel, I just hit to reset it. 2965 is set 3 times. Constraints on, terrain mode on, and as far as abnormals, any emergencies prior to V1 will be my decision to reject. I'll bring the aircraft to complete stop. I'll put the parking brake on. I'll call flight attendant stations. That basically arms the flight attendants, let them know, hey, something's coming next. Then we will go over the ECAM procedure or the emergency evacuation checklist as required. First officer will do, I'll call your reversers, auto brakes, manual brakes, let tower know we're stopping on the runway if you need emergency vehicle assistance, something like that. All right, cool. If all goes as well, we're going to continue via the SID up to flight level 190. We'll handle it as an in-flight emergency. We can do a return back in here. There is a special engine out SID for returning back to Vegas. We're not going to get into that right now. That's a whole nother video. But that's our normal departure brief. Now, we have an addition to departure right now. Is we have no APU today. So let's go over our APU, no APU start procedure. So we're going to come up to the overhead. When we are ready to accept ground air, we're basically, what we need to do is isolate the air conditioning system in the cabin from the ground cart outside.
Bank angle.
Been a while since I've been on, but thought I would add to Bourbon's dash. Good to see you, my friend.
Rand, cool. Thank you, man. $10 dono. Bank angle check right back at you, sir. It's been a while since I've been on, but thought I would add a bourbon stash. Hey, man, never too much bourbon to stash away, man. I appreciate that, Rand. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the stream, buddy. Welcome aboard. All right, so like I was saying, we're going to force air into the cabin. We want to force air into the engines. We don't want to blow that air into the cabin. So we're going to have to isolate that. We're going to turn both packs off. We're going to turn the engine bleeds off, except the receiving engine. Now, in real life, it just kind of depends on the station. But when they hook up the ground air, typically, here in the States, most of the time we hook it up over here. The cart is sitting over here. They run the high-pressure air under the number 1 engine into the high-pressure port under the wing fairing there on the left side. Because the hoses are running in front of the number 1 engine, we typically will start the number 2 engine first on this sequence. Now, I know that this is the ground air cart. It's over here. It's actually on this side. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to simulate it being on this side because that's what I'm used to. Again, this is just as good for me as it is for you guys learning. It helps keeps me in the game. So we're going to configure the cabin. We'll turn the packs off. We'll have the engine 2 bleed on. Engine 1 bleed will be off. We will have to open the cross bleed valve to allow bleed pressure to receive the second engine. We'll then crank the number 2 engine. Now during the crank procedure, we'll guard the start switch, make sure we don't get a abnormal start or whatnot. Once engine 2 is started, we can then get pack 2 on, and we'll keep the engine 2 bleed on, and we'll wait, and we'll get pushback, and then we'll start the number 1 engine from there. Once the number 1 engine is started, we'll reconfigure the overhead into a normal configuration with the lights out. So that's just kind of a quick brief on how that's going to work. We are 15 minutes from pushback here, so we're looking good ahead of time. We've already talked about our ground start, and we have to use ground power too. So it's not like we can just disconnect the jetway. Now, because we have ground power separately connected from a truck, this jetway will probably push back. Normally, if you have ground power from the jetway will remain attached to the aircraft until you get the engine started, because you have to use power off of the jet bridge to start the engine. You can't do a battery start on your main engines. So that's our departure brief. That's our APU in-op brief. We're looking good. We're at 16:27. I'm going to just reset this clock right here. Actually, I'm just going to put it in the reset mode. And let's go back to our mass and balance. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do our ground charts. Taxi out. Where's my 10-9? Let's look at a quick taxi brief. So we're going to be departing a 1 right. We're over here at the A gates. We can expect basically probably, what is this? I want to do green. Is there a transparency? That would be cool. Probably going to be something along the lines of Golf 2, Zulu, Whiskey, Delta, Cross, all the way down. That's something like that. No hot spots, 1 runway to cross. We'll make sure we hold short of that. Cool. How do I turn the marker off? There we go. Hit the stop button. Cool. All right, departure brief. We'll leave that is set. Let me get to a couple of things you guys were saying. What's that? A couple more super chats. Very much appreciated. Bradley Kramer says, just passed test for flight dispatcher whiskey time. Bradley, awesome, dude. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Have a whiskey. Enjoy it. Good stuff, man. Juraz Jakubik, also with a $5 super chat, says, hi, Captain. So always wonder how many jokes are between Airbus and Boeing pilots. Great content. Juraj, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that $5 super chat, sir. You know what? We like to rib each other, man. But at the end of the day, every Boeing pilot that I've talked to that has flown the Boeing and the Airbus, they always say the Airbus is more comfortable. It's the way to go. Very, very rare do I find a pilot who has flown both aircraft that just doesn't like the Airbus. You know, it's the ones that have never flown the Airbus, they don't understand the Airbus, that don't like the Airbus. Because I can understand that coming from a Boeing, you're stuck in 1930 mentality, you're turning on your own gens, you got to set your landing field elevation, you got to tune the freaking ILS course, for crying out loud. So I understand the uncomfortability of being a Boeing pilot only, but the guys that I've talked to that have done both, I mean, they seem to come around. And heck, even Flight Deck to Sim, you guys saw his I Love Airbus video in the front of his last stream, so got to give him a shout out to that. The Airbus effect is real. But yeah, we do like to rib each other every now and then. Do any A320s have HUDs? Very rare. It is possible. I've never flown one with a HUD, but maybe on like some BBJ or or what is it? Not BBJ, like ACJ or some private variant. There very well could be a HUD, but not that I've flown personally. No. All right, we'll go back to the dispatch, PCA. In fact, let's go ahead and get rid of the aft stairs. We still have door 1 left. That's going to close. GPU and PCA is on. How are we looking here with the boarding? We're almost done. We got 30 more people to go. Everything else is done. We're just going to stand by on that. Does stuff like the backup speed scale work in this aircraft? Really like stuff like I have not tested the backup speed scale yet. Dennis, thank you so much for the £5 donation, man. The backup speed scale, what Dennis is referring to is there's actually a couple of different ways you could get to the backup speed scale, but most modern aircraft have a little button here. It says backup speed scale. What it does is if you have a unreliable airspeed event where something the pitot tubes don't like or there's some computer error, there is an unreliable airspeed event. However you get there, you can go into backup speed scale mode. And what that does is it transitions your speed scale here from being in knots to literally angle of attack. AOA is all you need to know. In fact, the Navy, that's all they fly on is AOA most of the time. Coming in carrier landings, that's AOA. If you're flying AOA, that's all. AOA lineup, AOA. AOA lineup, power AOA, whatever it is. But it's very easy to fly the aircraft on AOA. You just have to have a full understanding of AOA, which almost all of commercial pilots have a very, very good understanding of what AOA is. At least they should. And that's what that happens there. Now, if you don't have the button, like we don't have on this aircraft, the old school way of forcing it was turning off all 3 of your ADRs. If you turn off all 3 of your ADRs, you will automatically force the aircraft in the backup speed scale mode if it is equipped. Remember, this is an option that it comes from Airbus. Some operators have it, some don't. Some operators will placard this up here. It says BOSS equipped. Some will just have a button. Just depends. I have not actually tested it yet. AOA lineup ball. Thank you, Will. My OCD wants to clean that windscreen. Yeah, this windscreen right here. So this is, a lot of you think that this windscreen's just dirty. This is exactly what happens when you use the rain repellent on a dry windshield. Because typically the windshield doesn't look that bad. Unless the crew in front of you said, oh, I want to use rain repellent, and it's not even really raining that hard, and then they run the wiper. The wiper with rain repellent, it's kind of like a Rain-X, slightly oily fluid that comes out, which the rain repellent is stored, or the level is over here, right here behind the captain's seat. That's what it looks like, and it's annoying as hell. And I would actually be on the phone with ops right now. Hey, we need a unicorn to come clean this windshield. We call them unicorns because it's very rare that they actually come and do it. But you'll be sitting here just chatting with your FO or whatever, and all of a sudden you'll just see a squeegee come up on front of the window and start cleaning your window because you can't see them down below. But that's what we call the unicorn. That's the mythical unicorn in the U.S. anyway. Is you always call for it. They never really show up half the time. So sometimes you'll see pilots out there with the window open, cleaning their own windscreen. But this is exactly what that looks like when you run the rain repellent on a dry windshield. I'd be banging. What's up, man? Thanks for the £10 donation. That's the pound sign. The other one was euros. So sorry I said euro, pounds and euros, whatever. But thank you, man. Appreciate that £10 donation. Very awesome. Thank you, sir. He says there's no reason to become alarmed, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your flight. By the way, is there anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane? Oh yeah, yes, brother. Exactly, man. It is. We're gonna need that today, man. Thank you for the support. Very appreciative of that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, how are we looking? 162, 153. We're almost done. We're almost done. Everything is looking good. In fact, we can probably start getting ready for this. So, won't the wipers also scratch the glass? Yeah, it can. If you run it on a dry windshield, just straight up dry windshield, it definitely can, Jeremy. Yeah, and with anything really, you really don't want to run wipers on any window, car, airplane, anything on a dry windshield. But the combination of a dry windshield and rain repellent is just not good. Do a manual engine start. You know what? We're gonna do a manual. Oh, we don't do. Do we do manual engine starts in this thing? Yeah, we're gonna do a manual engine start too. We're gonna see if it works. Okay, let me go through this here. Hopefully we don't get late on our departure time. So, you guys know that with auto engine start, you basically get pressure, you turn this, and you start the switch. That is good 90% of the time, but there are some situations that happen when you have to do a manual engine start. Either you had a failed auto engine start, or you're starting with a tailwind. We're going to be starting with a 31 knot tailwind because the winds are coming out of the north at 30 knots right now. So our aircraft is taking this up the pipe. So what we need to do is a manual engine start, and you Boeing guys are going to love this because it's basically like starting an airplane from 1930. What we're going to do is we're still going to configure the same way. We're going to have our packs off, the bleed ready, all that stuff for the GPU and the ground air cart. And then in addition to that, we're going to press the man start push button. What this does is it basically is the ground knob on the Boeing. So this is going to start the ground, then we're going to go to ignition start, or actually, I'm going to read the book. I think we actually go ignition start first, then we hit man start, and then we add fuel. So let me read the procedure to you. I know I'm talking fast, but if I got to actually look at the procedure here because I haven't done one of these in a long time. Okay, manual engine start procedure. If the flight crew suspects an engine start malfunction or if the ECAM alert is triggered, the pilot must abort the start and do a manual engine start. So here we go. Thrust lever is idle, engine mode selector, normal, then ignition start. When all engine parameters except N1 and N2 are available on upper ECAM and no amber crosses, engine man start push button on. So then we're going to do that second. We're going to go ignition start, then we're going to hit that. We start the chrono, we check that the start valve opens, we check we have oil increase, N2 increase, and we got to make sure it reaches 16%. And pack valves check closed. If the APU bleed is used for engine start and the pack valves are closed, shed the APU electrical load. We don't have to worry about that. Our APU is not available. If needed, we can also shed additional power. But that's cool. I totally forgot about that. We're going to do that. We're going to do a manual engine start as well. So I know that seemed really confusing, and I just dropped that on you. But we're going to do that as well because we're going to see if it's simulated. The TOLUS has this simulated, and I have a dedicated video on doing manual engine starts. All right, boarding complete. Dismiss. So I'm going to go over to, let's see, we got 162, 162, 134. Let me go to our takeoff. We're going to go sync load sheet final, which we did. And we're going to calculate. All right, let's go ahead and configure. I'll get to those super chats here. So we're going to go pack 1 off. Pack 2 off, engine 1 bleed off, APU, oh, I'm sorry, Crossbleed is now open. Tony 2 times says, very important message, Woodford or Elijah Craig? Ooh, have you had either Joseph Mingus or Scarblend? Hope you have had fun. I'm sure your speech was A1. Hey, Tony 2 times, thank you so much, man, for that $5 dono, man. Yeah, it was actually a dry wedding that we went to last night. Yeah. So, Woodford or Elijah? I'm a Woodford fan, man. I just am. I'm just a Woodford fan. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Captain Shark 21, thank you for the $2 super chat as well. Awesome 320. Hoping we get a 321 soon. You and me both. You and me both. All right. So we're still waiting on a final load sheet, but we can do our plan. So we already did our. We already synced this to final, right? Which is good. And plus 21, there's our speeds. But I want to go back to mass and balance here real quick. I wish it published the CG on this page as well. That's the only thing. Only thing I wish it published. So we're 134.4 and 30.4. 134.4 for the zero fuel. 134.4 and 30.4. Is set. It's going to calculate everything else here for us. There we go, 2.2. We don't need any route reserve fuel. Let's clear that out, or it should be 0. Well, can I 0 that out? Okay, yeah, that's 5%. 1-0. All right, there we go. We got an hour and 6 minutes extra. Cool. All right. Cockpit to ground. How you doing? Ground to cockpit. All walk around is complete. Blah, blah, blah. Everything is good. Roger that. Give us a second. We'll run a checklist. We'll be right with you. All right. So we got our init Bs done. We're going to go to the perf page. Let's actually load our speeds in now. So jet bridge is off. Doors are shut. 25, 30, 35. Flaps 2. 20, 120, 125. Wait, no, that wasn't right, was it? Oh, yeah, 25, 30, 35. 125, 130, 135. Flaps 2. We don't have to put that in the THS down. I won't do anything. We'll do it manually. 3670, 3670. Check. All right. Company message. There's our final. AOC. AOC. Receive messages. Here's our final. Accept. 134.4. Takeoff weight 145.1. We're just below max. We've got 162 passengers on board. Fuel and tanks 11.2. That's the important one. Check. 1635Z. All right, so we're looking good. We'll put this. I'll keep this on the init B page normally. That's normal for me. And off blocks, we got 5 minutes to go. We're looking good. Let's pull up LA Center on here. We'll have.
Ready to taxi.
Actually, we'll call him ready to taxi. So everything else is good to go. Beacon light on. Cockpit to ground. Go ahead, Captain. All right, we are ready to receive ground air for the engine start. And just to confirm, we are starting engine number 2. Cockpit to ground, roger. We are turning on the air now. You are clear to start. All right, so I've got ground air on. And now we're going to do a manual engine start. So with our beacon on, let's do our before start checklist. Windows, doors, and slides, they are closed and armed. Beacon on, thrust levers idle, parking brake is on for this. And before start checklist is complete. So, ignition to ignition start. We have bleed pressure. Come up to the overhead. And where are you at? We'll start the chrono. Here we go. Monitoring N2. Now you would be guarding the start switch in this because you will have to do a manual abort if you do this. 1920 is coming up. 26 and fuel. There's ignition AB. That's correct. We're coming online. So we're getting AB ignition because we're doing a manual engine start. On a normal engine start, you just get one igniter here, either A or system B, depending on which one ran the last time. However, the Airbus is smart enough to know that when you're doing a manual engine start, it's going to give you both igniters just in case. Oh my God, the fact that this is all modeled almost perfectly, awesome. The startup sounds are still... I wish they could just turn them up. They're not that good, honestly. Startup sounds. Everything else is really good. Monitoring the EGT. That's a veil. Look at that. We got a good start on number 2. All right. So let's go ahead and go man start. We'll come off. Close that. Ignition switch back to norm. That looks good. We're going to go ahead and we'd wait, I don't know, 2 minutes or something. We're going to go ahead and put this back into auto. We're going to leave the pack off for right now. Let's just double check our electrics. We have, why is our APU? Oh, external power. I was like, what? So right now external power is powering that, but Gen 2 is online. So let's go ahead and go external power off. Now we can see we are single generator right now, powering both buses. That looks good. We're not going to reconfigure the aircraft because we're still at the gate, but I'll go ahead, cockpit to ground. Go ahead, Captain. You're clear to pull ground air and ground power, and we are ready to push straight back. Cockpit to ground, roger that. Confirm brakes released. Brakes released, and clear to push. Oh, we got to hook up first. All right, so that's how comms go. Let's go back to this guy. Chocks and cones, PCA off, connect tug. We got to get off the gate here. We only got 1 minute. We're going to be late. I know I haven't paid hardly any attention to you guys in chat right there, but as you can see, that was a pretty task saturation situation. We had a manual engine start with ground power and ground air. We've got engine 2 online. Now we're going to push back and we're going to set up for a crossbleed. I'd like to turn the airplane around before we do a crossbleed start because I don't want to do a crossbleed manual engine start. Not saying you can't do it, but we're going to do an auto start on engine number 1, but I want to turn the airplane around. All right, we are connected, and cockpit ground brakes release, clear push. Here we go. And you can see there's no air in the cabin right now because we got the packs off. You wait a couple minutes so you get the air circulated through the cabin or circulated out, vented out overboard before turning the pack on because you don't want to have any, there could be contagions in the air cart unit down there. You don't want to just turn the pack right on and blow those contagions into the cabin. So we'll simulate that that's already been done. So let's get some air to the passengers. We'll go pack 2 online. That fault light should extinguish. Should hear some air come in here in a minute. D0814, Pilot Man. Yes, sir, you know it. Yeah, Stefan, startup sounds are lacking. For those, for the sounds, are you using model headphones? No, I'm not doing model headphones. I already looked. I already did all the settings. They're all there. It just, the sounds for startup just aren't all that hot. They just couldn't be louder. All right, I think we can go ahead and stop the pushback. Will it stop automatically? Maybe not. Okay, let's go ahead and stop the pushback. Cockpit, or ground cockpit, go ahead. Pushback complete, set brakes. Brakes are set. Eyes go here. Got yellow pressure, we got accumulator pressure, clear to disconnect. There it goes, tug, tow. Ground crew, we'll give them the wave off. We'll give them the old salute. Boom, boom. There we go. So that's like a little Ferrari tug. I don't see those hardly. I mean, maybe Chicago's got some Ferrari tugs, but pretty common that you just, for like narrow bodies and stuff, it's a tow bar. I wish we'd have more tow bar modeling. All right, so we got 2 good starts. Let's go ahead, and we're not going to reconfigure just yet. I want to turn the airplane. We'll start engine 1, and then we will do a full after start checklist. So we're on an uncontrolled ramp. We are on VATSIM. Let's pull up the Jeppesen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn us in a crosswind there a little bit. We'll go to spot 18. We'll do our crossbleed start, and then we will do our after starts, because I don't want to be starting with a 30-knot wind here. Now, theoretically, we should have the APU. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't start engine 2 if you're going to single engine taxi. That PTU is going to be going the whole time. You can't stop it. I mean, you can stop it, but you need a pressurized green. So that is why you start engine 1 first, if there's even a remote chance of single engine taxiing. All right, let's go ahead and pull out to spot 18. That was awesome. Hit the like button for getting off the gate on time at D0 with no APU, no automatic start, and a real-time boarding. I mean, if that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. All I'm going to do is we're not going to leave the ramp. Now, there's really nothing wrong. You could configure the aircraft for takeoff right here, but to help minimize my task saturation and loading here while streaming single pilot, I'm just going to set the brake at spot 18, and then we'll do our crossbleed, and then I'll call ground and we'll taxi to the runway. No need to send a delayed code. Absolutely not, man. Look at that alley giant 80 over there. That's cool. Pretty sure I just taxied across like a no movement zone, but it's all good. So I'm going to kind of do this. Now, with one engine, make sure you keep your speed up here while you set the turn. All right, that's good. We'll go ahead and stop right here. A little abrupt. Oh, look at that guy taking off. That's bad I don't have a model for him. Alright, brake is set. Alright. Brake pressure is good. Now we're going to do Crossbleed start. You guys are making me work today. Any chance of doing a live stream on X-Plane like the good old days? Phoenix seems like a game changer for us bus lovers. I don't know about X-Plane. We'll have to see, man. I'm having a hard time. Alright, let's stick with a plan here, or else we'll be here all day. What we're going to do, we're going to do a Crossbleed start. So, we're going to keep the packs. We're going to go packs off. Again, so we're cutting the air to the cabin. We want engine 2 bleed. We also need engine 1 bleed on, because that's going to be the receiving engine. We're going to go ahead and open the crossbleed valve, excuse me. Now, depending on the airplane you get, it really depends on the airplane you get, how much pressure, how much N1 you need to get the amount of pressure you need for engine start. So here we go. Let's see what we need. We're going to go ignition switch to ignition start. Right now, we're sitting at 28 PSI. Theoretically, that's the magic number, 28 PSI. You can go up to 40% N1 to get additional bleed pressure. So as I increase N1s, this number should increase. Let's see if that happens. Let's go ahead and bump up our N1s now. There we go. Look at that. We're increasing PSI. I'm going to give us a nice... See, the bus is pretty good. You really don't need 40%. 35%. We got 36 PSI. That's perfect. We're sitting here. This is why you would call ground like, hey, we need to do a crossbleed start. And they're like, yeah, crossbleed is approved, because you don't want to be blowing a little 172 behind there. He could have some trouble. So with that set, now we're doing a normal engine start. So we got pressure, turning 1. We should see a drop in PSI. Look at that. See the drop in PSI? It dropped down to 22. Look at that. That is a perfect simulation of what's happening, right? Because it's still not as powerful as a dedicated bleed source. I mean, I could bump up the N1 a little bit here to get a little bit more pressure, but 22 PSI is plenty. 22 PSI is plenty. Let's see if we can listen to the start. Shaq, stopping by with the like, man, going on a flight lesson. Dude, I saw that you're taking flight lessons again. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Thanks for the like, brother. We'll see you next time, man. Have a good flight. Yeah, the start sounds are just... I wonder if they tweaked them. I swear... I don't know. Whatever they are on my system, they don't sound that good on my system, unfortunately. I think we already got the Avail light. EGT is coming up. There's the Avail. So now it's just normal. Let's go ahead and bring that N1 back down. That'll spool down, and now we're just doing our normal after start. So that goes to normal. Arm the speed brakes. So I figured out what was causing that. All right, that's fine. And we're doing a flaps 2 takeoff, right? Let's go perf. We are flaps 2. We'll set flaps 2 from back here. See, I can hear the flaps now, which is good. Boom. There we go. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. Our trim was down point... what was it? Down point 2? I wish we could print it. Down point 3. So there's not a real... I mean, you could look at the... That's how you're supposed to look over here, but I'm just going to use the hack mode right here. Down point 3 is set. Alright. That is good. We are config 2. 190 is set. Everything else looks good. After start checklist. Engine ice, it's off. Yellow electric pump is off. Rotor trim 0. After start checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and get our packs online. Crossbleed back to the auto position. And we're going to go ahead and call ground taxi. Whew. This has been a lot. I hope you guys enjoy it, because I feel like I just went through the ringer and we haven't even got off the gate yet. If you've liked what you've seen so far, just wait until we get airborne.
Just 15 Whiskey Bravo, welcome back. The Imperial Altimeter 2960.
2960, 1
Delta 1021, Lima Airspace North, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, Oakland Center's offline, switch to advisory, 122.8, have a good flight.
Going over to 122.8, thanks for your service today, Delta 1021.
Yep.
LA Center, good afternoon. Legion 357, spot 18 with Charlie, taxi.
Legion 357, runway 1 right at Bravo, taxi via Delta Bravo. And did you pick up Charlie?
That's from We Have Charlie, and we'd like to request full length today for performance for Legion 357.
All right, Legion 357, continue down on Delta, hold short of, actually I don't have any outbounds yet. Go ahead and cross 8 left, down 1 right, full length.
All right, and 1 right, taxi 1 right, full length, the Delta, cleared across runway 26 right for Legion 357.
Well, it's 8 left. That's the departing runway currently.
Yep.
Markers up at 21,
All right.
97, 4,000, the turn.
There we go. So he asked me to do a intersection departure. I didn't want to do a takeoff shift.
That's 458.
Because I got a lot going on already, so we're just going to go full length. Here we go. Brakes off. Let's roll.
Oh, so that was 458. I'm not seeing you. Oh, now I'm seeing you. Sorry.
Yeah, Roger Moore. I wonder if they tweaked the sounds.
Runway,
because I heard that everyone was saying the sounds on startup were super good, super bassy.
Wind is 170
but for me, they're really, really quiet. So I don't know what happened. I don't really remember what our taxi clearance was. I know we're going full length on
yeah,
Delta.
it's kind of rare.
We'll make it work.
Markers 5,600.
That's 2197, radar contact, climb unrestricted, flight level 280.
Release center, Delta 27.
Look at that view, though. Look at that. That looks freaking real. Fly Tampa, Vegas, 10 for 10.
Yep, see it. Stand by.
I have not found a setting for audio, Lucas DeVries, like, you know, like engine audio. Everything in Microsoft is turned all the way up. So all my settings in Microsoft are turned all the way up.
3865, Los Angeles Center,
But,
radar contact,
yeah, just,
climb on course, maintain
for some
level
reason, engine
360.
start, super quiet. Was it Bravo Delta? I thought I wrote it down, but it wasn't typing.
Delta 3091.
We're,
Taxi with Charlie.
Turn right on the Whisk. Or Bravo, was it Bravo Delta?
Delta 3091, runway 1 right at Bravo, taxi west on Bravo. Thanks for Charlie.
On Bravo, left on Charlie.
I mean, obviously you would never do this in real life.
Super Romeo Alpha, welcome to Santa Barbara.
Do you stream flights in Europe sometimes? Yeah, sometimes I do. We're about to be doing a lot of South America flying, though. We're about to do a lot of.
Oh, you want to head down Atlantic? Go ahead. Okay, go ahead and run down. Go all the way and cross one. Stay on the runway all down to 15 right, 15 left. Make a right on Bravo and taxi to Atlantic.
Bravo down Atlantic.
I use Track IR. I don't have it on right now. I should, though. I forgot to start it before I launched the sim. Track IR is good. It's for me because I keep my chat on a separate monitor. Every time I look to read chat, the screen keeps moving. I have to, sometimes I forget to pause it. So, but without, if you're not a streamer, yeah, I highly recommend Track IR. It's a great tool. Takes a little bit getting used to,
but yeah,
but it's good. Southwest taking off there on the right. That was
1661.
Cool.
Welcome to Las Vegas. Exit right, cross 1 right, taxi to your gate. Taxi Charlie gates via Delta, Golf, and Charlie.
Ever flying Grand Cayman?
Delta, Golf, to Charlie
not in a really long time, if I have, Liam.
That's 1 for Bravo. Go ahead.
Alright, so we are cleared to cross. A little bit of a tailwind here, so it's not. We don't need anything to.
You should probably call for push. I just had a Cirrus pass behind you. Ready to push?
That's good. Nobody left. Clear left. Go ahead and line it up here. So crossing the runways, those come on. That comes on. That comes on. That comes on. Go ahead and cross. We're clear to cross 26 right. I should start it without. Oh, I can start it without. All right. I really don't need it for today's flight, but I'll keep that in mind.
Climb maintain 13,000.
Yeah, the base is a separate add-on. The base of the sticks is a
Runway
separate
3865. I gave you flight level 360, correct?
It makes me nervous crossing runways without looking. The leading edge wing. This is so good. These little grooves
458 radar contact.
the wing, the texture. I just can't
3,000. Climb maintain level 250 on
so
course.
real. Alright, so we're crossing this runway. Let's go ahead and kill that. Let's kill that. Let's turn that to taxi. Turn that off. We'll go ahead and hold short. We'll do our B4 takeoff check short of the runway.
Runway 3865, I did. You were cleared to flight level 360, correct? Correct. Okay, just one double
Change is
check.
worth $50. Yeah, in my opinion, especially if you want to fly a CEO. Remember the flight
Legion 1157, descending the
this
Disney
is really
5 arrival.
classic. You do have a couple more options. You know, I'm running the old
That
school
was
gauges and all that. I didn't
678
set my back
at Roman cleared, ILS 1 left approach.
I definitely think it's worth the $50, man. I don't think anybody will argue with that.
Legion 357, on that Bessie, wind is 330 at 21, gust 33, runway 1 right, full length, clear for takeoff.
Unfortunately, we need a minute here to run some numbers for Legion 357.
Okay, cancel takeoff clearance, let me know when you're ready to go.
How's that hold short, 1 right for Legion 357. Alright, remember, and I'm not saying this because I'm saying the controller's pushy, but remember, anytime you're on VATSIM, or even in real life, if you're not ready, don't be afraid to let the controller know. Obviously, he's doing a great service. He's being there for us. He wanted to get us rolling, and that happens in real life all the time. But just sometimes you're not ready, and they totally understand that. I mean, that's just a normal thing. So I'm not ready. I want to do my takeoff checks now, and then we'll give him a call. So keep that in mind whenever you're online at VATSIM. You know, use that as a learning tool. Like, hey, I'm not ready. Don't feel pressured. All right, here we go. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right. Neutral. Rudder.
199, pre-march clearance time.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
2197, maintain level 280.
Auto brakes max. Takeoff config check. Radar. PWS should go to auto.
78, wind
on
330,
TARA.
altimeter 2972.
You guys ready? I'm ready. Frame rates are much better, so what I've done is I've lowered some of that render settings, and I also put my OBS settings on NVIDIA instead of my CPU. I relieved some CPU load, so right now frames are okay.
27, runway 1 right, full length, taxi.
Jeremy, JFK is a different animal.
8 left.
JFK, you got to be ready.
1 right, the Delta cross 8 left.
Information Delta now, current.
Rayman, exactly. There's always pressure. It's up to how you handle it. Exactly.
Altimeter
Couldn't have said it better myself. And LA Center, at Legion 357, we are ready for departure.
Legion 357, RNAV Bessie. Wind 33021, gust 33, runway 1 right at 1 right, full length, clear for takeoff.
1 right, full length, RNAV Bessie, Legion 357. This one switch, I can't get it every time. There we go. All right, here we go. We're clear for takeoff. Final is clear. Let's roll on, and I should pull up my SID.
67657, squawk will be 7126.
RNAV Bessie.
657, taxi runway 20 left,
which is right
via
there.
Alpha.
Here we go.
Kilo. 7126.
If we do get a wind shear on departure, it's super windy. It's Toga, follow the command bars. We won't reconfigure until we clear the wind shear event. Any questions? No questions. 1,000 viewers, welcome to the stream, y'all. We're going to need a like button spam here before we go Toga on this one. How many likes can we get before going Toga? We're going full-blown Toga out of here. We got gusty winds into the 40s.
Roman cleared ILS 2, cleared ILS
all my members in chat, let's go ahead. Let's turn up blue. Yoga's in chat. Spool them up 50.
Delta 2630, 96.
So that sounds good. It's going to be loud when I go to the exterior view, so be ready. Here we go. Mantoga, SRS, nav, auto thrust is blue. Oh yeah, baby. Here we go. Got to stay on center line. Can't look at the engine to stay on center line. 80 knots, thrust set, 100 knots, check. V1. Rotate.
1450, Los Angeles Innovator contact, line maintain 13,000.
A little bit of rudder authority there. Positive rate. Oh
Delta
my
391,
word.
I gave you crossing instructions at 8 left.
31
cross 8 left.
knots.
And turn on your transponder at Las Vegas and Aztecs Airport.
That was a little rough on departure. We're nabbing. Oh, this is going to be a sweet view here.
1450, turn left, heading 090, enable direct field east, and on course maintain 11 left stop.
11000 is 090 and enable field east on course.
There we go, lever climb. Remember, wait for the positive trend in airspeed. There it is.
657, right crosswind.
Thrust,
departure,
climb, auto
Bearing
thrust.
Limit 5, runway 20 left, clear for takeoff.
Oh, this is too good. Hold on. I have to do. I know I want to pan fly this, but we're going to go autopilot on. Look at that. Smash the like button for that Las Vegas departure.
Bravo, pushing stars,
Oh
cruise tail
my
to
word. Smash
right
the like
on
button for
taxiway
that.
Bravo.
Allegiant Stadium down there. There's FSpeed. We'll go straight to flaps 1. Oh my. This is Flight Tampa Vegas. S-speed, flap 0 after takeoff checklist.
Alright, 2, pre-pressure current set.
Got it.
We're accelerating. 4.7.
2197 descended to Disney 5 arrival.
We're looking good. About to hit 250 here. Now she's going to start pitching up.
Legion 357, radar contact altitude indicates 5,100. Climb maintain level 280.
Climb and maintain, flight level 280. That's us, Legion 357. All right, so we got to climb and maintain. So we're going to pull for open. Pulling for open is going to omit any restrictions. So we are in an open climb now to 280. We do not have to comply with the level off there on the SID. So we are open climb now all the way up to flight level 280. Enjoy these views, y'all. This is next level viewing right here.
Delta 3091, runway 1 right, full length, line up and wait. Traffic short final on the parallel.
Line up and wait, 1 right, Delta 3091, waiting on traffic, parallel.
Los Angeles Center, get this.
Viva Las Vegas, baby. My dinner is on hold to watch this departure. Juggle. Hopefully it doesn't get cold, man.
Delta 112, radar contact, climb unrestricted, flight level 300.
Look at that. Adios, lost wages. Adios, baby. Delta reported light chop. Go figure. Alright, turn the sim down. Gonna bring us back in here.
1450, copy.
Hopefully we're not blasting you now. I mean, like the sound, all the sounds are loud and good except engine start. I don't know why. Engine start is very anticlimactic. We're headed to John Wayne. In theory, oh my word! Look at those mountains. This is real. This is real. I'm in a real airplane right now departing Vegas. This is real. I think we just hit 10,000 or close to it because I think the airplane just lowered its AOA to accelerate.
Welcome to Las Vegas. Exit right.
I mean, it's bumpy though. This is just. This is awesome.
Exit right, hold short of 1 right, southwest.
This is so awesome. Berto, I agree that sound is good.
657 radar contact.
Vibe N1 will flash on the lower ECAM if you're approaching a limit. Oh yeah, we were at a 10,000. Look at that. I saw the angle of attack change on the wing there. All right, let's go ahead. We're at a 10. Let's go ahead and clean it up. So at a 10,000, we'll get our retracts off. Interesting enough, there is no speed limit on these. You could put these out at a high speed, but it's just uncomfortable and vibrates. So everything else is good. We'll hit the forward call, let them know we're at a 10,000. And we're climbing out at 335 knots with our cost index. We're above most of the terrain. We'll go ahead and turn terrain on ND off now. And we're climbing up. So as soon as we get a little bit further, we're going to set up a hydraulic problem. So I hope you guys are sticking around. We have a massive hydraulic problem that I'm going to simulate for y'all. And it's going to be fun, so I hope you're sticking around. Let me get to this super chat. Stephen Hayner, thank you so much, man, for the $10 donor. Says, my dude, as fun as it's been seeing you fly the 146 and 73, it's been absolute juice to watch you in a natural Airbus environment. Can't wait for the professional series in the Phoenix. Absolutely, Stephen. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the $10 donor. Appreciate it. I think you can tell. I think y'all know I am so passionate about this airplane, passionate about Airbus and flight sim, aviation. So I love teaching. I feel at home in this environment. And if you guys have enjoyed this so far, just wait. It gets better, because the procedure I'm about to run for y'all is one of the longer procedures that you can run in real life, and it's actually kind of exhausting, and I probably will be non-existent in chat, so I want to say hi and talk to you now until we get up there. But thank you, Steven. I'm about to piss off VATSIM controllers. Carter, I'm just going to go real life, man. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. If you have problems with your airplanes, you got to do what you got to do. Engine sounds at full power on bad. Jeremy, I agree. I mean, the other sounds of the engines are good. It's just that startup. And I keep pulling my hair out. I keep thinking it's my setup. I'm missing a setting somewhere, but I'm not. How detailed is it compared to PMDG? Giuliani, that's a tough one for me to answer because I know PMDG has a lot of failures and all that good simulation, but I'm not as advanced on the system's in-depth knowledge. You know, like what we're about to go through today in the Airbus, if I had to do the same failure on the PMDG, we might die. Today I'm hoping we don't die. We shouldn't die because this is my airplane, but that's a hard one for me to compare. You know, I'd have to be type rated on the 7.3 and the Airbus to really get into that. I will say though that this, in my opinion, is worth it more because of the encompassing EFB and everything that it brings to the sim, and you're gonna see. All right. We're going to start programming a failure right now. So we're out of 16,000, and the failure that we're going to be doing is a hydraulic problem.
You're clear the Riverside out.
So we're going to go back to McDo, config, failures, hydraulic, and we're going to change this to conditional. We're going to do a hydraulic leak in green.
Yeah, with that wind, you'll love it. Okay, Reback is correct. Let me see what North Las Vegas is reporting wind-wise. A lot.
Yeah, the wind in Vegas was insane.
Kind of like where I live.
We're going to do hydraulic leak green, and we're going to do it above 19,000. So I'm going to set 19,000 here.
Copy.
Arm. So we have a green hydraulic leak armed. So we're going to simulate. We're just flying out. Everything's normal. There's 18. We'll go ahead and set standard. Standard set once. That one's kind of hard to set. Once, twice, and 3 times. We're set. All right, everything's looking good. We're climbing out. We don't have to do a 8 cars delay. This is what we call fat, dumb, and happy. We're exhausted.
Los Angeles Center, good morning. Radar contact.
We just did a APU, no APU start, a manual start, Crossbleed. You and I are just looking forward to getting to the hotel there in Long Beach because it's one of the best ones, and you get this. All right, I have control ECAM actions. Clear the caution. Hydraulic G reservoir low level.
27 on FSC. Wind.
Let's follow the ECAM. PTU off. PTU off. Green engine 1 pump off. Green engine 1 pump off. Hydraulic G reservoir low level. Green engine 1 pump low pressure. Green system low pressure. Fuel consumption is increased. FMS prediction unreliable. Wheel and flight control. Okay. PTU is not picked up the load. The reason we isolated the PTU is because we don't want to push any hydraulic fluid over here and have a potential of leaking out more systems. So that's why it's isolated. All right, clear PTU. So flight controls. We've got normal braking lost. Auto braking is lost. Spoilers 5 and 1 are lost. Okay, clear flight control. Status. Stop the status. All right. Now this is where it's hard to do this single pilot, but here we go. I'm gonna try my best. I have control. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the climb.
Alpha to Simula Hollywood 1 arrival.
We're gonna push the level off. LA Center, Legion 357.
Legion 357, go ahead.
We're working out a problem here with hydraulics. We'd like to stop the climb here at 220.
Legion 357, maintain 220. Let me know your intentions.
Maintain 220. Will advise of intentions of Legion 357. All right. There is no hurry at this point to be rushing through checklists and doing something incorrectly. So what I'm actually going to do, I got 220 set, fly the airplane, speed out star. I don't need to be hauling ass at 330 knots. I'm going to go ahead and bring the speed back a little bit. Let's bring it back to like a comfortable 300 knots here, or 310. All right, we don't need to be hauling ass anywhere. Fly the airplane. Let's go ahead and look at this. All right, status. Read status. Fuel consumption is increased. Landing gear, we're going to have to do a gravity extension procedure. Landing distance procedure, we need to apply that as well. Alternate yellow braking with anti-skid. That's our braking now. We're on alternate brakes for landing. We do have anti-skid available. FMS prediction of fuel is unreliable. Slats and flaps will activate slowly. We are Cat 3 single only. Okay? in-op systems. Now in real life, the non-flying pilot would be reading this. All right, in-op systems, we have green hydraulic, spoiler 1-5, Cat 3 dual, normal brake, auto brake, landing gear retract, reverser 1, green engine 1 pump, yaw damper 1 pump in-op. Clear status, clear status. I'm going to the comm. Now at this point, there's a couple things. I'm going to go to the comm, but the pilot flying would also be setting up the diversion here. So diversion, immediately, what am I thinking? Well, I have no hydraulics in my green system. I have potential landing issues. I want to go to a longer runway than John Wayne. I'm not going there. What are my options? I could return to Las Vegas. Maybe they won't want us going to Vegas. Let's say that LA, that's a close option, right? If we go to, we go to the...
where are you going?
Perf page, data, closest airport page. How far is LA? LA's got really long runways. Only 145 miles on heading 227. Okay, that's what I want to do. I want to go to LA. We're not going to John Wayne. I don't want to go back over the mountains to Las Vegas. LA, we have base, we have ops, we have maintenance.
That's for night operations,
so I'm going to LA.
One is the one that's valid
So last thing we would do, we would tell dispatch that we're diverting.
It might have been
Now,
amended,
remember, there's a lot of things happening here. The pilot
departure
flying
controller.
would also be doing something. The pilot monitoring is doing something different. I'm trying to do all roles at once. Right now, I want to go to LA, so that's where I'm going to fly the airplane first, aviate first. So I'm going to try to get a word in here, and
Eastwood, Hollywood 1.
we're going
continue on the Hollywood 1.
to head to LA. We're going to set up a diversion, and we still have to get to the comm procedure. LA Center, Legion 357. We'd like to set up a diversion to Los Angeles. We got a hydraulic issue.
Legion 257, you're cleared to present position, Sally intersection, Angel 4 arrival.
All right, present position, direct to Sally intersection, Angel 4 for Legion 357. All right, so let's fly the airplane first. So there's a couple ways we can set an alternate. Whoa, my mouse is all bugged out here. What's up with that? The mouse is giving me issues.
1350 top to front.
So I'm going to put there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. I'm going to put LAX here for the alternate. And now I'm going to go flight plan. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom.
Legion 1199, maintain level 38.
LAX, arrival. I want to land 26. That's a long runway, or a 25 left, excuse me. We'll land
4579, radar contact.
25, where's yeah, 25 is what I want. ILS 25 left. My mouse is like giving issues. Angel 4. And where is Sally? There it is, Sally. So we're going to scroll back there. Oh. Sally, insert, direct to.
That's 4557. Just be advised, we're going to have to switch your arrivals to the Playa 1 arrival. Currently, information, hotel turn at San Diego, they're landing on
Sierra, Alpha, Lima, Yankee. My mouse is like, nope, that's not the right one.
67657, where are you going?
Okay, why is my mouse, like I can't move my mouse. I'm having some serious issues with my mouse.
7657, maintain 6,500, clear to Los Angeles,
There we go. Alright, now it's back. Weird.
LA Center, American 1541.
Alright, so that was our alternate down there for Sally. I need to get a direct to, what was this? S-A-L-L-Y. Yeah. Should be S-A-L-L-Y. S-A-L-L-Y. S-A-L-Y-Y. S-A-L-Y-Y.
104 Romeo Alpha. These are left.
That's the one, out of my flight plan. There we go. We're going present position direct to Sally. That is set. And then we got to set up for the Angel 4. So,
Last 711, Los Angeles finish, walk 7266.
blah, 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 limit. There we go. Thank you. I got it. I got it set up there. There we go.
3865, the Airspace North.
And what we could also do is here, I can go secondary. Now we're going to go back to the init page. And we're going to do KLOS to KLAX. I'm going to go back to secondary, arrival. ILS 25 left. Set. Angel 4. Set. Sally is right there. Set. Okay. Secondary. Activate secondary. Reversion chirp. Direct Sally. Insert. Clean up the box. We're direct Sally for the Angel 4. All right. We're speed out nav 310 knots.
Bravo.
Going direct to Sally intersection.
Which approach were you looking for?
We're going to need to also hold at some point. I don't know why my freaking mouse went into all lag mode. Sorry about that, guys. So I was trying to put Sally in the primary just to make it quicker, but it ended up taking way longer than normal. So I just went to the secondary flight plan, and I put it in there, and we got it navin. Remember, fly the airplane first. There's always more than one way to skin a cat here, especially in the Airbus. All right, we're going to the right place. Now we need to start looking at our procedures. So we got a lot to do here procedure-wise. We're headed the right direction. The pilot monitoring would be communicating with dispatch. I will do that here in a minute. But right now, let's go to
All right, 24 Bravo, go ahead and proceed direct.
hydraulics. So we're going to pull up hydraulic,
Dice G. That's
green,
cross dice
low
together about
reservoir,
5,000,
low level.
And then you are cleared the RNAV.
Hydraulic, green, reservoir, low level. All right, PTU off. Green engine pump off. We already did that. Green engine one pump, low pressure. Associated procedures. Fuel consumption increased, we know that. We have our secondary failures, we went over that. This is what we need to do. We need to do gravity extension, refer to the landing gear, gravity extension procedure, landing distance procedure apply. Okay, so we're gonna have to do manual landing distance procedure. We know our fuel consumption will be increased and the FMS prediction is unreliable. The big key factors, just reiterating, we are on alternate braking with the yellow and anti-skid only. The slats and flaps will be slow to deploy, so we got to take that into account on our configuration, right? We don't want to be coming in last minute. I always say flaps 180 knots, 2,000 feet above the touchdown zone. That's not going to work when you have you're down a hydraulic system. You need more time. Okay. This is not an emergency situation. We do not have a land ASAP on the ECAM. This is just an abnormal, and we're taking this with an abundance of caution. All right. We know we're Cat 3 single only. Okay, so the hydraulic green low level has been completed. Well, let's go ahead and start looking at the gravity extension procedure, or at least we'll get that ready. And now we need to do a couple other things. So taking a break from what pilot monitoring was doing, so now back to pilot flying. Pilot flying is down here in the box. He's going to be getting information for Los Angeles. So I'm going to come in here, AOC menu. We got to do our weather. I want to do weather request, and I want to get the METAR. Wow, I can really see it, barely see the numbers from the sun glare. That's awesome. We're going to send that off. Return, diversion. Now I'm talking to dispatch. AOC diversion. We're going to Los Angeles. And our ETA is, if I look over here, LAX is, I don't know why isn't it showing an ETA? Did we miss something? Oh, did we lose our init page? AAY357.
Center, so this is KLM 1192.
And we're at 220. Check.
Direct update.
All right, there we go. Now we got our ETA. UTC is 1744. 1744.
KLM 1192 heavy.
Set.
KLM 1192
Send that off.
heavy, that's affirmative.
We'll let dispatch know.
Play at 1 arrival, sir. Runway 9 is the arrival runway currently. Comex 2 goes to 27.
All right, we're going into mountainous terrain. We'll have terrain push button on. We also need to get our charts for LA. Now we don't have a chart here, so we have to do this the old school way, LAX, non-planned alternate. So we're going KLAX, enter that. Los Angeles charts.
Cross arcs that are above
Arrival, Angel 4.
Cleared ILS runway 9 approach.
We'll pin that.
Fox are above 5,000 clear ILS runway 9.
And approach charts down here at the bottom. We are doing the ILS 25 left.
Rounders 2 arrival 1 left transition.
Okay, let's look at this. 1099, 251. And the bottom is 304.
1 left transition.
So we're going to go next phase, 304 in the barrel.
Okay, center needs to close in about 5 minutes.
And we need to get the weather, so we're going to go McDo, Atsu, AOC.
172, runway 1 right at Bravo, taxi.
Receive messages. Weather data. Los Angeles is 110 at 7.
Taxi west on Bravo. And you say you picked up Delta?
Broken at 18, overcast 2600, temperature is 17.
That was 147 at Clone.
And the altimeter is 2982.
Left approach.
That is set. All right, return that. That's back on the flight plan page. Did we get another message? Yep, company message. AOC. I mean, this is like, you see it. See the saturation that's going on here. On heads down, you got to. 2 pilots is critical in this situation. What did the received message say from Allegiant Ops? Copy diversion to LAX ETA 1744Z. We'll arrange ground handling for you. Thanks, Fraser Operations. Okay, they've acknowledged that. We've got our amendment. We're set up. The only other thing that we have to do now is we have to talk about our landing. Now, I don't know if it will calculate landing with failure on here, but we're going to see. We're going to find out. Haven't even tested this. And let me just check the 10.9 page. We want the longest runway available. 25 left, so that is confirmed. We got 11,000 feet here. Ooh, 25 right is 12.9. If you go off the end of the runway on 25 left, the FAA will ask you, why didn't you land 25 right?
yeah,
so
that's all I need.
there is some weather in the area. Is there an ILS to 25 right? There is an ILS to 25 right. So we're going to set ILS 25 right in the box.
5774, runway 1 right.
And we're going to change this around. So we're going to go arrival, ILS 25 right.
Expect intersection departure, Bravo.
ILS 25 right selected. Angel 4, Sally, insert that. We're still naviging in the right direction. The current barrow is still the same, 304. We'll reset that. Perf data, next phase, 304. Barrow is set. Oh, I said 307.
Continue west on Bravo, make a left at Delta, cross runway 8 left.
Set. 25 right now. LS push buttons are on. Remember, we're flying the airplane first.
Make the heads up.
All right, we are set, ready to go there. Okay, so let's talk about
36 Bravo Whiskey,
our current situation. We are pretty much set up for an ILS approach. We know we got to go to the longest runway. We still have to talk about landing gear extension. I'm getting a little bit close to the airport. Right now, if I go to Prague page and I put LAX in here, I see that we are 76 miles out. That's very close to the airport. I feel like the pressure is starting to build. We're running out of time. Whenever you feel that, you got to recognize, hey, this is not a critical situation. This is not a time critical situation. So what are some things we can do? We can slow down, or we can request a hold. And I'm going to request to probably hold as we get a little bit closer. Now the question is, where do you want to hold? Well, let's look at our approach chart here. Sometimes we've got published holds. You could hold at the final approach fix, but you're in ATC's way. I kind of want to hold maybe a little bit further out. I'd like to hold probably around, I don't want to hold at 2,000 feet either.
Bravo. Wind is
Probably, you know, wherever ATC can put us is fine. I'd like to give us some altitude, so maybe up here, let's see, maybe around Circus, hold around Circus, and then we can run some checklists. And we're going to need a descent as well. So because I'm seeing that I want to land on a different runway that they're advertising, because I'm seeing that I want to hold, everything will be easier if I just declare the emergency. If I land and everything goes right, maybe one thing goes wrong, someone will ask, well, why didn't you just declare the emergency? Always declare the emergency if it's going to be viable to your situation and help you maintain maximum safety in the flight.
RNAV Yankee runway 20 right approach. The wind is variable at 5, runway 20.
We still haven't talked to the passengers yet. I'd probably be calling the flight attendant now, be like, hey, we're setting up diversion to LA. I'll call you back here in a little bit.
Legion 357.
Go ahead.
Descend to the Angel for arrival.
And for Legion 357, at this time, we'd like to declare an emergency. We'd like to request a descent down to 12,000 and hold at Circus until we can finish some checklists.
Legion 357, continue down to 12,000, hold at Circus right, as published.
Copy that. Descend to 2,000, or correction, descend to 12,000. We'll hold that over Circus as published for Legion 357. All right, 12,000 is set. We're going to hold that Circus. We're going to go flight plan. I don't know why we went offline mode there. I'll have to mess with that. Circus, hold, Right turns, this is the, we'll go computed hold, right turns 240.
120.9.
I'm going to give myself 10-mile legs. That's what we got.
Right turn, heading
and insert the hold.
Maintain.
Okay, we're successfully connected.
Turn
Good.
220,
Because now we're
maintain,
shooting a ILS approach with a hydraulic problem. We are squawking emergency. We got a company message. What's up? We're not squawking emergency, excuse me. We do have a company message here from the Legion Ops. No delay code required. Thank you.
3519, runway 1 right.
All right.
Bravo, taxi west on Bravo.
I'm going to loop into the flight attendants. I'm not going to emergency call them. I'm going to give them a forward call.
1 right at Bravo, taxi
They'd
west
call
on
up.
Bravo.
I'd switch over. Freaks. I'm going to turn him down a little bit. Be like, hey, Cap, what's going on? Hey, how's it going? Just to keep you in the loop here, so we are declaring an emergency. We're going to be diverting to Los Angeles. We do have a hydraulic problem on the airplane, but it's isolated. There's nothing to worry about. I don't anticipate us using a brace command or an evacuation on the runway. However, you can expect a flight attendant stations call from me after we roll out and stop on the runway. You're going to see fire trucks to the left or the right of the runway, but again, this is for an abundance of caution. I show us landing in LA at about 15 minutes from now, maybe a little bit longer. We're going to hold here until we finish some of our checklists, and then we're going to be headed in. So if you have any questions, let me know, but just prepare the cabin for arrival at this time. Okay, Captain, copy that. Thank you. They've been notified. Dispatch has been notified. We're holding at 12,000. Current barrow down here was
172, RNAV Kaibad, wind
2982. So we'll go ahead and boom.
33021 got
2982 is set
clear for takeoff.
here, which is 1010. We'll go ahead and set
Go ahead and switch to advisory 122.8
1010
for your departure frequency.
and 2982 is over here as well.
Interflight 774, continue holding short, Boeing 737-800 is already in full length.
Set hold speed. Right now I'm going to go green dot plus, what does it want? It probably wants, let's see if I go manage, what's she going to want? 213.
727.
Yeah, we'll slow down. I'm going to set 220
Alpha.
right now. You know what, we're still
on the radar. Maintain,
let's do 250. And I'll
VFR,
tell you,
is that correct?
that's going to be for landing gear situation.
For now I am.
All right.
The reason why I asked because I kept getting a connection loss, so I'm not sure if I blinked or not.
yeah, I'm showing you at
You
9,500
need to turn this guy
now.
like way down.
You go ahead and switch to advisory 122.8, center's got to close.
Okay.
Oh man. All right.
Everything is done except our couple more procedures, and we got to let the passengers know. So now I'll make a PA. I'll pull up the handset down here because the handset is a little bit quieter than doing it over the headphones. Be like, let's do a PA. So,
It's Bravo Whiskey, runway 1 right,
him off
taxi
just
via
for a second.
Whiskey Delta.
ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, Captain speaking. As you can tell right now, the aircraft's in a holding pattern. We just entered a holding pattern just east of LA. We did have a little bit of a problem with some of our hydraulics, but the problem is isolated. There's no reason to panic. There's nothing else wrong with the aircraft. We're going to be diverting to LA, though, just out of an abundance of caution. The runways are much longer in LA, and they have better services there to get you guys to connecting flights. So I do appreciate your patience this afternoon, and we'll have you on the ground here in about 15 to 20 minutes. You'll see the cabin crew coming through the aisle. They're cleaning up the aircraft right now as we speak, and next time I talk to you, we should be on the ground in LA. Again, we do apologize for the inconvenience, and we'll be on the ground about 15 minutes. Thank you. All right, so they're notified. Everybody's notified. Flying the airplane. This is when I look at Phantom 320 and be like, hey, man, where are we at? He's like, all right, dude, we're all set up. We're descending to 12,000. We're in the holdover circus. We got to do some stuff here. So let's go ahead and talk about landing distance procedures and the landing gear gravity extension. So because we have a green system failure of our hydraulics, we're not going to be able to extend the gear normal. So to execute a gravity gear extension, do not apply this procedure if at least one green triangle is displayed on each landing gear on the wheel SD page. This is sufficient to confirm the landing gear is down locked. Disregard any possible JIPWIS 2 low gear. That does not apply. All right. When it's time to lower the gear, gravity extension hand crank, we're going to pull and turn. So what's going to happen is we're going to come over here, we're going to lift up the gravity extension, and we're going to pull and turn. We're going to put the landing gear lever in the down position. The landing gear lever should be confirmed in the down position for the following reasons: to extinguish the unlock lights on the landing gear indication panel, to prevent the landing gear control message from appearing on the wheel SD page, to minimize the risk of landing gear retraction on the ground, due to an unknown system fault. So you don't want to do a gravity gear extension with the gear up and then you land and then there's a fault and now the gear tries to retract on the ground, right? Because we already have problems with our landing gear. We don't want to do that. So the gear handle will be down even though it won't work. Gear down indications, if available, check. Depending on aircraft speed, this display may show the landing gear doors in the amber transit position. In the event of a gravity extension caused by the failure of both LGCIUs, that is not apply, we can skip. If the three downlock arrows are not on, it is possible that the hand crank is not at the mechanical stop. Check that the hand crank is firmly pressed against the mechanical stop. If successful, do not reset the landing gear gravity extension. Do not reset the free fall system. This will avoid such undesirable effects as further loss of fluid in the event of a leak or possible landing gear unlocking in the event of a gear selector jamming position or gear selector valve jamming in the unlocked position. If the free fall system may be reset in flights used for training, does not apply. If unsuccessful, landing without landing gear procedure apply. Well, hopefully we don't have to get that. All right, so we briefed that procedure. We know what we're going to do. We're going to have to manually crank the gear down. We're going to lower this. We're going to see hopefully one green triangle. We might see amber X's on the gear doors because remember, the gear doors are going to probably be hanging open when we, what the heck am I looking for? Wheel page. The landing gear doors are probably going to remain open for the landing. All right, we've talked about that. We're pretty much ready to go here. The one thing I want to check now is landing perf. Will it actually work on this? Again, sorry guys for not really being involved in chat. We got 900 something watching, but this is a stress test of the Fenix. So I hope you're enjoying the content. If you're enjoying this content, even though I'm not super active with you guys in chat, do hit the like button for me. This is good. This is good trading for me, and hopefully you guys are learning something and finding this entertaining. All right, LAX. Runway is 25 right. We're going to land on 25 right. We're going to apply METAR. Okay, there it is. 7 miles broken, overcast. So we're shooting an ILS with the gravity gear extension. That's fun. 2982. Landing weight. Aircraft config. Landing weight is predicted to be. Is there a way to? I think there's a way to pull it up here. Perf. 6.6. So we're going to be, I want to do worst case scenario. So, I would say, let's just do 141. We're going to do worst case scenario. 141, that's under max, 141,000 pounds. I know we're going to be less than that, but again, remember, err on the side of caution. Auto brakes are, we don't have any, so we have to be able to turn that off. I'll just say low. Manual landing, flaps full, auto thrusts will be on. Idle with no reverse, idle no reverse. Landing distance procedure, hydraulics. Are you kidding? Green system, low pressure. Okay, apply that. Oh my word. Okay, now how do I send it to do its thing? Braking, anti-skid, we don't have the fault. We do have an auto brake fault, so we'll get that set. Navigation, no. Electrical, flight controls, no. Flight controls, we don't have any of these faults. Check. Slats and flaps, no faults there yet. Engines, reverse unlock, no. Shutdown, no. We don't have any of those. Okay. So, select the runway condition. Let's just say it's good. Let's just say good to medium. Look at this. Max manual applied due to failure calculation. Dismiss. We need 8,000 feet. That's why we're landing on 25 right. Got an extra 2,000 feet there. 25 right. Winds. We got 5 knot tailwind, 4 knot crosswind. 8,000 feet available. This is blowing my mind. This is like, whoever came up with this, it's just, I know it was Katie Pilot. It just, unbelievable. This is the best thing I've ever seen in flight sim. This is unreal. All right, so what we would have to do in real life is we actually have to do this manually going through the books, but this is even better. We already set up landing distance procedure has been applied. Okay, how's everybody doing? We are inbound. Last thing I want to brief then is the actual approach. We know it's going to take longer to configure. I want to be fully configured before the final approach fix, so I'm going to start configuring at shell. So we're going to have to configure at shell. We're also going to lower the gear once we get a little bit closer, definitely out of sequence, and we'll talk about that later. So let's get on to ATC now and go on here. LA Center, Legion 357. Oh, no. I'm sorry, I had the volume off there. Legion 357, the LA Center, how do you hear?
387, reach 5x5.
Legion 357, we're ready to continue inbound now, requesting ILS 25 right.
Legion 357, cleared ILS 25 right approach after circus, and contact tower 120.905 at the outer marker.
Contact tower 2095 at the outer marker. We're cleared ILS approach 25 right after circus for Legion 357. Thanks for your help.
You can switch to, you can monitor Unicom until you get to the outer marker, center's closing.
Copy that. Monitor Unicom to the outer marker. Thanks again for the ATC for Legion 357.
All right, yeah.
All right, 22.8 is up. Tower will be 2095. Now I have immediate exit on there, so we should, in theory, just exit the hold. So 120.95, 120.95 is primed up in the secondary comm. Now let's see what happens here. We should exit hold. We got to descend via. So I'm going to go ahead and set, what was our final approach fix? 1900. 1900 is set. Manage that. Speed descent. Now we should exit the hold here at circus. Don't turn, baby, don't turn. Not a big deal. We're going to force it. We're going to go direct to shell, insert, get back on course. All right, direct to shell. We are direct shell. We're speed descent, descending via. We're cleared approach. And because we're cleared approach, I'm going to turn this light on. And we're getting ready to go through 10,000, so we'll go ahead and just get these lights on here now. We'll leave that off for right now as well. All right, we're direct shell. We're descending via. LS push buttons on, manual braking only. And we want to be fully configured before shell. FPS is really good right now. FPS is really good. I need a sip of water. Hi there, V1 Sim. Is this aircraft as good as the real thing that you fly? Let me put it this way, Richard Reed. This is the closest Airbus simulation that I have ever flown to the real aircraft. Period. Period. It's got some really good stuff going on in the background. Really good. Mohammed, thank you for the $20 super chat, man. Very much appreciative of that. Says, hi, V1. How does the Fenix Airbus stack up against all other products we've tried? Well, I think I just answered that for you, man. It's the benchmark. It is the benchmark, my friend. All right. Thank you for that massive donut, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, it is the benchmark. 100% in my opinion, this is the benchmark aircraft. There, you know, like, I don't want to, as I say that, you know, I don't want to say, oh, it's absolutely perfect. There's nothing wrong with it, because there are little things there here and there that I find it's like, oh, you know, but it's the grand scheme of things as far as getting in depth, and hopefully this stream kind of shows you what I mean. Like, I mean, how many simmers are actually going to be doing a green system hydraulic fault? You know, it's probably very, very few. So you may not appreciate the depth of simulation that's going on here until you see it firsthand. And that's what I'm trying to give to you right now. So here we go. Dougal says, awesome work, everyone. Thanks so much for showing us. Dougal, thank you so much for tuning in, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, man. I can't wait to see some bus pictures of you, Dougal. I'm going to see that in the screenshot section. Dougal McTavish in the Phoenix. Jeremy says, the landing distance calculation with the failure blew my mind. Jeremy, it blew my mind. This failure landing distance procedure is better than what we do in real life. It's better than what we do in real life. All right, I'm slowing to 220 because I know we have to, everything's going to happen slower, okay? So this is my briefing to the TFO right now. I'm like, look, man, I would rather be way configured early instead of having to scramble to get the airplane configured. So I'd say what we're going to do is we're going to actually be 180 knots prior to Let's see, Shell is 6 miles. I even want to do it earlier than that, honestly. I really want to do it earlier than that. Is this the right chart? 25 right, it is. Okay. So I'm actually probably going to start slowing us down a little bit more. Well, we're at green dot. We're fine. Are we clear of most of the terrain? I think we are. I'm looking at us here. So you see we just cleared this mountain range. I'm going to say, you know what? Let's go ahead and commence the gravity gear extension now. Let's get our gear down, and we'll get everything set up. And I'll do a quick PA here real quick. Folks from the flight deck, we are inbound to Los Angeles right now. We'll be on the ground in just about 5 minutes. The landing gear is going to be coming down a little bit early, and it's going to be coming down at a little bit faster speed than normal. So if you hear any wind flow or any loud noise there as the gear comes down, do not be alarmed. It's all normal. Everything else is going just fine up front here. So again, we welcome you to LA in just about 5 minutes time. Thank you for your patience. All right, so they know what's going on. Let's go ahead and commence gravity gear extension. We're below 250 knots. First thing we need to do is lower the landing gear lever. So landing gear lever down. Nothing is happening as expected. Okay, I am look at the wheel page. There's nothing going on. All right. Okay, let's commence the landing gear gravity extension procedure. We're going to pop this out. We've got 3 turns. So here we go. 1. Up locks release, hydraulic release, and the 3rd turn all the way to the stop. Boom. There we go. And now everybody's just praying that the gear comes down. So here we go. This is a free fall of the landing gear. Hit the like button for that. Have y'all ever seen a free falling landing gear? Here are the engines thrusting up because drag is being increased to the airplane, totally normal and expected. Look how slow it's taken. Look how slow it's taken. All right, we got an alarm. Landing gear not down locked. That's associated. We'll stand by. The gear is coming down. We know it's going to take a while. What's our outside air temp? Remember, fly the airplane first. Plus 22, we're okay. We're still waiting. You're holding your breath right here. You are definitely sweating bullets. Oh, look at that. We got a green triangle. That's what you're looking for. Look, we got 3 green triangles. ECAM, landing gear doors not closed. Clear the caution. Landing gear doors not closed. We briefed that. We know they're not going to close. Max speed, 250, 60 Mach. That's why I'm already doing 220. Fuel consumption increase, FMS prediction unreliable. Check. Clear landing gear. Clear landing gear. Status. Stop status. I'm going to slow to 180. Actually, no, I'm going to slow to 200. And we're going to extend flaps 1. We're going to continue to configure early here. Flaps 1, selected. Look how much slower the slats are coming out. Look at that. See how slow the slats are coming out? That's normal. Normal slat with the slow. Get rid of that.
Bank angle.
Berto 360, bank angle check right back at you, brother. Thank you so much, man. All right, let's go ahead and continue configuring. I'm going to come all the way back to 170 now. I know I like that 180 at 2,000, but remember, we are an emergency aircraft inbound. Everything ahead of time is the way to go. All right, there is S speed. Let's go ahead and select flaps 2. Again, we're going to have slow deployment. About half speed. Normal and associated. We're on speed. We're cleared approach. Shell is the outer marker. Let's go ahead and continue to slow down. I'm going to come all the way back to about 160. VFE next minus 10. Flaps 3. Flaps 3 is coming out. Tower is 12095. We have them tuned up. And the final was Fogla, right? We'll call them a little bit early if we can. We're 160 now. V1 finally getting the viewership it deserves. Sim Aviator, dude, thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Thank you for your continued support, man. I hope all is well with you, bud. All right, so now I'm not going flaps full because flaps full is really draggy. If I can hold off on that a little bit, I'm going to. Remember, Fogla is the final. We'll do it here, probably passing Shell. Let's double check we are activated and confirmed. We are. Our VAP is 138 knots. And are we on tower? We are on tower. LA Tower, Legion 357, just outside of Shell for the ILS 25 right.
Legion 357, Los Angeles Tower, winds 110 at 7. You're wanting 25 right?
That's affirmative. We're emergency aircraft inbound, and we'd like to have a crash, fire, and rescue standing by.
You're going to have to vacate the runway once you get down to the end, runway 25 right, clear to land.
Copy that. We'll vacate runway 25 right, clear to land for Legion 357. All right, so now in real life, you wouldn't get that, but I understand VATSIM. So on real life, I would actually stop on the runway, but we will vacate. All right, landing light is on. We're clear to land. Let's go ahead and push for managed speed. Let's go ahead and arm the approach. AP2, glide slope blue, load blue, VFE next, -10, flaps full. Slow deployment. Look how slow flaps full is. Normally, you barely even see that. It's just about half speed, even slower almost. Look at that. Beautiful simulation there. All right, we're flaps full. We're on speed. We're approaching the final approach fix. All right. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advise. Auto thrust. Speed. ECAM memo. Well, that's where we go to. ECAM memo is a status. All right, let's read status. So, max speed, 250, 60. Fuel consumption, landing distance has been applied. We are aware, alternate braking with anti-skid. Very important, these older aircraft did not have a 1500 PSI limiter. You see this green band right here? See, this stops at 1500 PSI. We want to make sure when we apply brake pressure, we do not exceed this. If you step on the brakes, you will go above this line and you can cause damage. So the number one thing we're looking for is touchdown. I want to apply a little bit of brakes. We want to make sure these needles are moving because we are using alternate brakes. And we have to modulate that braking on our own with our own foot pedals. All right? If this does not work, we have accumulator pressure charged up and ready to go. Radio altimeter alive. Check. If this accumulator, if these alternate brakes do not move on touchdown, now we are stuck with our accumulator braking only, which is we have short successive applications of the parking brake to slow the aircraft down. All right, in-op systems, just a refresher: green hydraulics, spoiler 1.5, Cat 3 dual, normal brake, auto brake, landing gear retract, landing gear door, reverser 1, green engine 1 pump, yaw damper 1. Clear status. Clear status. All right. Landing checklist is complete. We are clear to land. Gear is down. Auto thrust is in speed mode. Ground spoilers will not arm, so it is they will deploy only after touchdown. We can actually arm the switch, though. We can actually arm them, right? Yeah, we can arm them, but they I don't believe they'll deploy automatically. They have to wait for going into reverse. Auto brakes. Look, I can't turn them on. This is real. This is real life situation here. You would not be able to arm the auto brakes here, and that's correctly simulated. So we know what to do. We're down to land. We're clear to land. Everybody's been advised. You guys have been advised. Tiller cam is online. Here we go. I'm going to just keep the autopilot on, though, because I'm helping myself at this point, right? I'm helping myself. The airplane's doing just fine. Theoretically, I think you could still do an auto land theoretically, but we are Cat 3 single, so maybe not. There's Cat 3 single, runways in sight, landing. Landing lights are on, guys.
1,000.
Pro status confirmed. Just kidding. Thanks for checking. Landing lights are on. We're clear to land, down to land. Runways in sight. Again, helping myself here. I'm going to keep the autopilot on. I'll turn up. Oh, I never got replay going. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can we get it going in time? Now, talk about breaking the sim. Flight recorder replay with a hydraulic failure. That might actually break it. But let's try it. I'm going to go ahead and record is on. Recording is on. And autopilot's coming off. I'm going to leave the flight directors on. Ryan Jones, dude, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, man. Can't quite get to your message. I think it says you love the non-normal stuff. Wife and kids just got home. We'll watch the replay. Thank you, man. Take it easy. Thanks for tuning in, bud. Look at that lighting coming in. 500 feet. We're stable. Clear to land. Auto brakes are off. Check. Remember, you're also going to have asymmetrical, a little bit of asymmetrical thrust on the reverse, so I'm just going to stick it in idle. I'm actually going to put both in reverse. I want to see if it will unlock the number 1. It shouldn't. Glide slopes are bugged out in Microsoft. Keep on coming down. We would not really be 3 reds right
100.
there.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 10, 5.
Spoilers.
Legion 357, welcome to Los
All right.
Angeles. Roll out past taxiway Lima.
I can see my brakes. All right, he gave us a clearance where he can't comply with that. We're at 100 plus knots here. I'm gonna let it roll. Look at that, reverser one. Reverser one did not unlock. Are you kidding? That is exactly correct. There's 70 knots. I'm gonna stow it here. That is exactly correct. Remember, I'm modulating my brake pressure. I know you can't. Are we back? Are we back? Hold on. Hold on. Are we back? Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what it was. That was just an OBS crash, guys. Everything else happened just fine. So the airplane handled perfectly. Viewers are back. Dude, that was the wildest thing. I don't know. Okay, here's the good thing. We could still watch the replay on flight recorder. But I wanted to show you guys, all you saw was the rollout. You saw me touch down, so that was good. And I just wanted to show you what happened here on landing. When I manually press the brake pedals, look, you see the pressure? And you see how I can easily go over the limit? So you want to make sure you're modulating those brakes. That's why I was real gentle. You didn't see it, but on my screen after OBS crashed, I was real easy on the brakes, and I took it all the way to the end, and I turned right to clear the runway for the controller. Now, in real life, I would obviously stay on the runway. You'd have crash, fire, and rescue come check the airplane, make sure there was nothing leaking, or make sure nothing was I don't know, more of a hazard, and then we could potentially taxi to the gate. But in my honest opinion, if I've got any type of brake issue like this, I'm not even going to taxi the aircraft to the gate. I'm going to have a tug driver come out and tow me into the gate, because if you lose your alternate brakes, you do not want to be moving in an aircraft on an airport surface and have no brakes. That's like one of the worst things that can happen. So I would actually shut down and have them come tow us into the gate and go from there. So, but that really pretty much concludes the emergency. So after we touched down, we came to a stop. I would put the parking brake on. I'd go flight attendant stations, and then the fire chief, he'd be like, Tower, come on, say, hey, fire chief's on 22.5 or whatever. And be like, fire chief to Legion 357, how do you hear? Legion 357, we got you loud and clear. He's like, hey, we don't show any hot spots, nothing leaking or dripping from the airplane. We do see evidence of where you lost hydraulic fluid, but there is currently nothing leaking, and I think you're all clear of any fire hazards. Like, okay, copy that, thank you. I'd call ground, I'd say LA ground, Legion 357. We're going to shut down here. We're going to have to be towed back to the gate. Now, the problem is you can't really shut down, because what do we not have? We do not have an APU, so we'd probably just shut down one engine. I'd probably leave one engine running, and then we would be towed into the gate from there. And that's it. That concludes it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really hope you enjoyed that stream. I know I lost a lot of you guys there at the end. I can't believe OBS crashed. It was weird. I did I don't know, I did something when I switched views from tiller cam to live cam, and it bugged out OBS for some reason. But at the very least, let's go ahead and watch the replay, shall we? So I'm going to go put us into replay mode. I'm leaving the airplane exactly like it was, except let me turn the brake off, and let's see if we can watch the replay, because my sim never crashed. The sim was fine. That was a Streamlabs problem. So we are disconnected from ATC. I disconnected from him. Let's go ahead and see the replay here. So we are on final. This is, everybody, we're coming in. They're like, let's watch Reverser 1. And what was so cool, guys, is every little detail was actually modeled there. It was like the brake pressure simulation. The engine 1 reverser did not unlock because of the hydraulics that we don't have on the green system. So reverser 1 was in up. We had proper spoiler deployment. Just really cool to see that all come to fruition. XP72's in the house. Dude, thank you so much, man. I didn't see you there earlier. I've been super busy. This stream, I feel like, we've only been live for 2 hours, 11, 12, 1, and I feel like I've been streaming for 6. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun for me. I just want to keep flying this airplane, man. I just don't know what to do next. I'm going to probably make some content after this video, but let's see how we do here on touchdown rollout. XP, I do want to say I was listening to your podcast last night on the way back from my buddy's wedding, and it was awesome. A great podcast about the Fenix, the release. You guys had some really good insight on that. All right, so there's touchdown, no reverser. I wonder if it'll work in replay mode. Look at that, no reverser on engine 1. No reverser on engine 1. Look at that, we have proper spoiler deployment. We've got the outboards. Inboards are not supplied hydraulically, and I'm just going down the runway using all available runway that I can. There's no need to step on the brakes. We got 12,000 feet available. We only had one reverse there, a little bit of asymmetric reverse thrust. That's okay. In real life, I probably would have just been in idle reverse thrust and then really modulated it. But you know, with the hardware limitation I have, it's just easier to go straight into full. But not bad. All right, let's see. Let's rewind it. Let's go ahead and pause that. Let's pull it back. Let's see how we touch down. Look at that. The gear doors are down. That's proper simulation. The spoilers, that's a replay mode. All right, how are we doing touchdown, Dougal? Perfect. I would not change that at all. On center line, you just want to put it down. You know, I felt a little bit fast. Coming over the numbers. I think I was pretty much on speed, but I just felt like I had a lot of energy coming in, and I wanted to just get her down. I could see the touchdown zone was getting smaller. You don't want to have to do a go around in this situation because it's just going to be, the aircraft can fully do a go around, but it's going to just be an extra headache. So I really didn't want to go around, put the airplane on the ground, put it in the touchdown zone, and just modulate those brakes. Just nice and easy modulation all the way to rollout. XP says you're officially invited back to the podcast. Ooh, for a debriefing on this plane and the state of simming now. XP72, sign me up, man. I would love to be back on that podcast. You guys are awesome. Guys, if you haven't checked it out, XP72 and Blue Games, awesome streamers, awesome content creators. They have a podcast on Thursdays. I listen to it, get the state of flight simulation. They bring guests on there. I was the honorable first guest. I'm very humbled and honored for that. But they've had a lot of different guests on the podcast. It's good stuff. So make sure you check them out on Thursdays. It's the Blue Experience. We'll watch one or two more replays here, and then we'll probably wrap it up. Look at the flap shake. Look at that flap shake. Oh, that's awesome. Scott T, thank you for the $5 super chat. Man, he says, go get yourself a drink. After that wonderful approach and landing, feel like we all learned quite a bit. Scott, well, now you know. Thank you so much, man, for that super chat. Now y'all know if you're flying with random faults on, you don't have to be scared of the hydraulic failure. You know, if that happens on any other system, you've got some different procedures that apply. But for the most part, remember, fly the airplane. A loss of a single hydraulic system is not necessarily an emergency. So you just fly the airplane, slow down, take your time, and get the airplane safely on the ground. That is gonna be a wrap, folks. We can get sail going here. Captain Rico says, after this epic stream, what's next? We will be back tomorrow, short of them painting. I think they're going to be doing some painting here in the office, and once they start painting, I probably will not be able to breathe in here. So I'm going to try to get some pre-recorded content done for y'all, so make sure you're checking back for that. I'm continuously impressed with this airplane. Every time I fly it, it gets better and better. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Until the next one, y'all stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. It's just too cool. I'm just looking at the gear door and just the sound, listening to the sounds of those engines. Awesome. All right, I'm out of here. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya.